Hyderabad HICC Metropolis సదస్సులో KTR మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. లైవ్ చూద్దాం.
We understand it can be put to better use through offering mobility of services and also offering a great deal of social services as well. Technology, as we all know, incidentally, I also had information technology along with the Department of Panchayat Raj, which caters mostly to the needs of rural Telangana and rural India. Technology is fantastic. Big data is good. But ultimately, it's about how effectively you use technology, how effectively you use the data that is at our disposal today. Effective usage of data is imperative in offering better citizen services. The world is talking about smart technologies and smart cities today. Everybody's talking about it. Indian government is talking about it. We have several big industry heads in the information technology arena talking about it. What are smart cities? In fact, I keep telling a lot of people, our commissioner here, Mr. Somesh Kumar, keeps telling all of us, keeps reminding all of us, there's this story in India of one elephant and about 8 blind men around it. Each of them feels the elephant. Each of them then comes back, all the 8 blind men, saying or having his own definition, giving out his own definition of an elephant. Now, smart cities is in that zone also, where we are all in the process of finding one ubiquitous definition which is applicable across the board through the length and breadth of this world. Unfortunately, there isn't one definition. I think, as I said, we all need to find our own solutions. We all need to find our own formulas. What may be applicable, as Mayor Trias had mentioned, in Barcelona, may not be applicable completely here. Hyderabad needs to find its own formula. So does Barcelona, so does New York, so does London. So therefore, going forward, with the repository of data that we have several things planned, but we believe in one thing. Smart cities are ultimately about offering smart citizen services. Smart cities ultimately are about making the government function smarter and offering a value proposition to the people at large, and especially the most downtrodden people of our country and of our state and city. Smart cities are about sharing. Smart cities are about intelligence. Smart cities are about a continuous process of learning. And I'm sure, as Mayor Trias had said, there are a lot of areas where we can learn from the various city administrators that are available here, that are with a vast pool of knowledge. While, as I said, while we have a great repository of data, big data available with us, the challenges in India are manifold. On the one hand, as Mr. Gupta had mentioned, there's a rapid urbanization happening across the world. In days to come, 70% of the world is going to reside in cities. Now, how do you ensure that you provide, that you actually ensure you have smarter, safer, greener, and also sustainable cities on the one hand, and also at the same time have this humongous challenge of ensuring that you also stem this urbanization to a great extent by providing urban amenities in rural areas also simultaneously, because we cannot have everybody moving to the cities across the country. We also need to provide urban amenities in rural areas as well. So the challenges for the government are manifold, and we are doing our best in terms of addressing it. The big challenge ultimately, as you all know, the government needs to get its act together. Every single government, be it the city government, be it the state government, or be it the government that actually runs our country. The government, unfortunately, at this point in time, we all know it is a challenge to ensure that one department talks to the other. The big challenge with interoperability of one department actually ensuring that it completely coordinates its act with the rest of the departments within its own government, within its own team. So, end of the day, I have two things to say. We have a great, huge pool of data now, this whole macro data that we have. Now, how do we put to good use? We understand that data can help us do a lot of things. We understand data can help us plan better resource allocation, understanding needs and patterns and trends in citizen behavior, understanding the processes in bringing in efficiencies to make them better. We understand that data helps us also to plan sector-wise. We understand that data also helps us manage our assets better. We also understand that environmental resources, monitoring and evaluation, prediction, forecasting, all of this can be achieved through the usage of data. Let me get to my 3 or 4 slides that I have. What are the possibilities and what is the government looking at with regard to data and how we can use this big repository of data? We have big plans. Most of these are all on the drawing board stage right now. Digital Hyderabad or Digital Telangana, as we call it. We want to start with Hyderabad because Hyderabad today encompasses more than 40% of our state, the greater metropolitan area, and more than 40% of the population as well. So we're calling it Digital Hyderabad to begin with. This is in a drawing board stage. We have to move forward. There are several initiatives that are being considered right now. We believe, as I said, smart cities, smart technologies are ultimately about people. Smart cities need to ensure that citizens are provided with the best possible services, citizens are offered the best value proposition. Now, our plan, as I said, is to combine big data and analytical ability along with a proper geospatially enabled environment richly attributed with all city assets and citizenry details. We have this in abundance now. We have the entire city of Hyderabad mapped geospatially, and we have the huge repository of data that is available with us after the survey that we had completed. And now we are working on several initiatives to provide better citizen services, some of which I'll talk about. One, it'll probably be the first, the Digital Hyderabad initiative probably will be the first urban geo-information system in our country. It provides an intelligent 360-degree environment of the entire city, where, as I mentioned, everything is geospatially mapped. It's a configurable geo-web platform which is actually going to help the city administration do its job better. Now, what are the various challenges in city administration, especially urban governance applications? The first thing that comes to mind, for better revenue administration, because as we all know, for a city, I think single biggest source of revenue is from the revenue administration, from the property taxes, etc. So now the big challenge a city like Hyderabad faces, any metropolitan city in fact would face, is ensuring that urban planning happens in a structured, regulated manner. And our technology, the technology that we are looking at, we're pursuing right now, helps us ensure that we garner more revenue from the properties that are coming out in the city, and also at the same time brings in more transparency and efficiency as a package. Now also, it helps us include urban poor. It also helps us manage our disaster and also emergency management operations better. It also helps in the city engaging as Mr. Gupta had mentioned, smart cities and technologies and the big ideas today are about social inclusion, especially including citizens in governance and a participatory style of functioning. So better citizen engagement is another thing that we're looking at. To get to it quickly, revenue administration, as you all know, property taxation is one of the biggest sources of revenue, and in any Indian city, in fact across the world as well, I would imagine that would be a big source of revenue. If we have properly geo-referenced properties across the length and breadth of a city, we can ensure that there is no fraud, we can ensure that there is no deviation from the original plans conceived. And the second thing it also helps us do, obviously, is it gives the citizens an opportunity for self-assessment as well. Now, if you talk about how we can use this to include the urban poor, we can certainly use technology to ensure that not a single person from the lowest economic strata is missed out on, especially in terms of offering citizen services. The third thing I wanted to also point out too is it helps us plan better when there is an emergency or when there is a calamity happening. If we use technology effectively, we can definitely manage our catastrophes or calamities in a much better fashion. And the obvious other thing, citizen civic engagement. The new technologies that are available now definitely help us plan better, definitely help the governments get feedback in a much faster, much swifter fashion, helps us understand the requirements of the citizens better, and most definitely it helps us also in getting our act together, especially with the interoperability issue that we have as a challenge. The other thing it also obviously does, we can use the laser technology and we can create an environment where we have a 360-degree panoramic imagery of the city, and it can help us understand in planning civic amenities in a much, much better fashion as we grow the city. Because Hyderabad as a city, as you all know, is a growing city, is an emerging city. It definitely is likely to double in size in the next 20 years to come. So, therefore, the city needs a structured, regulated planning, and the technologies are available to us to ensure that we get just that. Finally, as we all know, the different advantages. What does big data and big technologies help us do? It helps us plan better. It makes us more transparent. It improves the revenue potential for government bodies, especially the city administration. It empowers the citizens to be participatory, to participate with the government. It also provides a wonderful platform with a lot of e-commerce companies coming in. It provides a wonderful platform for the SMEs. It also actually provides a wonderful opportunity to actually keep in sync, keep updating yourself with the database, to update itself every year and ensure that we provide better and better services to the people. In a nutshell, if you think about it, it helps you with land management, it helps you with property tax management, it helps you with social inclusion, it helps you reach out to the lowest in the economic strata. It also helps you plan better in terms of revenues. So ultimately, as a new state, as the youngest state in the country, we are looking forward to sharing more and more, collecting more and gathering more and more inputs from the various administrators out here, especially model cities such as Barcelona, etc., and trying to make our city better, trying to ensure that Hyderabad actually becomes a global, cosmopolitan, international city. Thank you very much once again. Thanks for this opportunity.